Welcome to the New Ulm Forum. I'm Teresa Caveney with the New Ulm League of Women Voters. Our organization works to foster citizen participation in government, and I'm happy to be here today with Kelly Hodevec, our Auditor Treasurer for Brown County, who was appointed this summer. We'll learn a little bit about Kelly and a lot about the duties of Auditor Treasurer, including what's up for this next year's election. So welcome, Kelly. Congrats on your appointment. How did you come to be our Auditor Treasurer?
Well, my background, I grew up in Sleepy Eye, and I'm married. I have 3 kids. My boys have both have graduated from high school, and my daughter is a sophomore. We've lived in the Lafayette, St. George, and in the summer of June 2019, we moved into the city of New Ulm. And my background in education is a bachelor's in accounting, and I have a master's of business administration with an emphasis in information system technology.
Good for you. Well suited for this job.
Thank you. My prior work experience was in the areas of finance and operation management. I did a lot of database administration, website administration, data analysis, communications, and e-marketing. I've been at Brown County for almost 7 years in the Auditor Treasurer's office. I was the Assistant Auditor Treasurer up until July 16th when I was appointed Auditor Treasurer.
Welcome. Well, we're happy to have you as our new Auditor Treasurer. You do have big shoes to fill. Jean Prochniak was a great Auditor Treasurer, and I think you will be too. Tell us a little bit about what the Auditor Treasurer does.
Yeah, the Auditor Treasurer has many different areas within our office, responsibilities, including property taxation, finances, cash management, drainage, tax forfeitures, the License Bureau, and elections all fall under the Auditor Treasurer's office.
My goodness. Can you tell us any particular highlights of the Auditor Treasurer? You have diverse responsibilities. I don't know if the general public really knows who conducts our elections, who collects the taxes. Maybe we know that more.
Yep. Yeah, the property taxation portion is, and drainage are probably well known, or a little more well known. I'd like to take the opportunity to focus on 2 areas, including License Bureau. I want everybody to know that the Brown County License Bureau is fully staffed, and we're open for in-person service. You do not need to make appointments. You can, to either check in or you don't need appointments or check in online. You can just come in. We're serving first come, first serve like we have prior to COVID. So we do serve customers on the first come, first serve basis. We do have designated License Bureau technicians to help serve quick transactions. So we have separate lines for those that are just there for vehicle
Tabs.
registrations or DNR license, snowmobile, boat licensing. And then there are additional lines then for the driver's license or title transactions. So you may see, oh, well, I thought I came in before them. It kind of depends also on the type of transaction that you're doing. We have 2 lines, one that we can continually move people through. So your vehicle registrations shouldn't take long to do at all.
So that's the quicker line.
That is the quick line, yes.
Got it.
And we appreciate when you do come into the License Bureau to renew your registration, because a portion of the fee is actually kept within the county, which helps reduce the dollars we need to levy for operation. If you're unable to make it into the License Bureau, we do have mail options. And so you can, rather than mailing it to the state of Minnesota, the address on the yellow envelope that comes with your tab renewals, you can send it, you can mail it directly to the License Bureau. That address is 1900 North Franklin Street in New Ulm, 56073. We also have envelopes on the side of a drop box that's on the Franklin Street side of the License Bureau. So you can always drop in registration in there. Just one thing to remember, it is Minnesota statute that you include vehicle insurance information when you're renewing motor vehicle. And so the information that is needed with that would be your insurance company's name, your policy number, and the full expiration date. And then if you can also remember to include the payment and then a phone number in case we need to contact you at all.
Tell us about Real ID.
Yes, so the Real ID was actually, the deadline was extended again. The new deadline is May 3rd, 2023. However, we strongly encourage people to take the opportunity now. As the closer we get to that deadline, the busier it will get for driver's license renewals. One bit of good news is that the state examiners are back doing
Driver's license tests?
yes.
Good.
Yep, the written road test that began on November 4th. That's Thursday mornings from 9 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. And on January 6th, they're going to be doing written tests again. And that will be in the mornings on Thursdays.
So just a reminder then to our listeners, you can drop off your driver's license renewal, your tabs, I should say, 1900 North Franklin, New Ulm. Include your insurance information, your insurance company name, the policy number, and the expiration date.
Yep.
And the payment fee.
And along with a phone number.
And your phone number.
Yes.
Got it. Great.
Yeah.
How about elections? I know that the auditor treasurer manages and has managed beautifully orderly elections, and I would say Minnesota boasts of very high turnouts. I think you probably have many other colleagues in other counties around the state who also run very efficient and fraud-free elections. Tell us about the duties of the office as it pertains to elections. And this is redistricting year, so give us some information about that.
Sure. So following a census, you need to do redistricting. The purpose of redistricting is to redraw the boundaries of election districts to make sure that there's going to be equal representation among each district. And that is done after the U.S. Completes their congressional reappointment. You just mentioned that based on, there are 435 member House of Representative seats, and based on the census results, they established those seats. Minnesota was lucky and retained
kept
all
all
eight
yep.
of their seats. And so that was because of the great census participation that we had in Minnesota. We just squeaked by very, very few.
I just want to say thank you to those in our listening and viewer audience who participated in encouraging people to participate in the census and fill out the census form. It really mattered for a number of reasons, including retaining all 8 of our congressional seats. I know here in the League of Women Voters, a number of our people were involved in encouraging people to complete the census. It's a priority of ours.
Yes, well done. We appreciated all of your support and efforts in improving our participation in the county. Yes, so 2022 is a big year. And so in addition to the House of Representatives, cities, townships, and counties all are affected by redistricting and will have to adjust, establish, or reestablish the districts.
What is the time frame for redistricting? When does it go into effect? And what do we as citizens need to be thinking about?
Yeah, so in September 23rd of 2021, this year, the census data was released. So February 1st, 2022 will be the precinct caucuses. We will be using the same precincts that were used in the 2020 general election. So that does not change.
Okay.
And then on February 8th of 2022, the uniform election date, this will be the last day to hold municipal or school district special elections.
Okay.
Typically, there is another there's another uniform election in April and one in May. But those are differences that those timelines are actually eliminated in a redistricting year.
Makes sense.
Yep,
Yeah.
the purpose is because on February 15th, the legislative redistricting will occur. And so that's the intended deadline, which is 25 weeks before the primary. So hopefully they'll be able to have that done by that point. And then on March 8th, we'll continue to have the township elections for those that choose to hold the elections. So I talked about 2 eliminated timelines due to redistricting. There are 2 that are added. As I mentioned, there was the legislative redistricting deadline of February 15th. And then the other one added is a municipal redistricting deadline. So the cities have until March 29th,
Okay.
2022 to redistrict.
And so we could participate in meetings or hearings on how the city redistricts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then Brown County, the counties then, after the municipal deadlines, we have the month of April up until April 26th to redistrict. And this will include school districts, soil and water, and any park districts as well.
And again, I assume then the county commissioners will have a hearing where people can speak to the proposal. Does the county come up with a proposal for redistricting that we react to, or do they take public comment first and then redraw the lines?
So we're already working with the city of New Ulm and kind of having some plans so we can, be prepared since we have such tight deadlines. And then they will be proposed. If there's anybody has any comments on it, the hope is to have some work sessions to be able to go over that. And then, you can always contact the Auditor Treasurer's office if you have any interest in participating or want to be able to share ideas. So the reason the deadline is by April 26th to have the county redistricting done is because the filing period opens on May 17th, and this will be used in the new redistrict districts. So
candidates for county commission, state legislature, and so forth have until May 17th to file.
it begins.
Or,
It
excuse me, it opens.
Yep, it
pardon
opens
me.
on May 17th.
Yep.
And then the state primary will be held on August 9th.
Yep.
And that will be the first election with the redistrict precincts and districts.
Okay.
So, and then the state general election will be held on November 8th.
And I'm assuming that the vote by mail option continues to be available. That seemed popular, worked very well. Did you, as a person in the Auditor Treasurer's office, as the assistant, the deputy, what did you experience actually with the use of vote by mail? How did that go for you?
Yeah, so vote by mail works well. When I lived in the St. George area, actually, I voted by mail. We were a mail precinct. And I appreciated the opportunity, I was a registered voter, so my ballot would show up, and it was convenient for me, especially because I was so busy working the election.
Yes.
And then, so we had several precincts participate in mail balloting. And then hopefully this year we'll be able to have the in-person voting again, but that will be based on what's going on with COVID
Sure.
the 7 days prior to the election, having
Early voting.
early voting.
And that would be at the Auditor Treasurer's office, correct?
Correct.
And I know I've dropped off my ballots there as well, because I vote by mail. Great. Are there other things you want us to be aware of relative to the election year in redistricting? Or the overall duties of Auditor Treasurer?
No, I think we covered it pretty well.
I don't know how you handle all of those multiple responsibilities. I'm really grateful that you're in this position and that you are really seeking public engagement with your office. I think that's very important. How do people get a hold of the Auditor Treasurer?
Yep. Our office phone number is 507-233-6613, or my direct line is 507-233-6617. And my email address is Kelly, Kelly, .Hotovic, that's HOTO, V as in Victor, E, C as in Charlie, at co.brown.mn.us.
Thank you. Thanks so much for being here.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate this opportunity.
Oh, you are more than welcome. New Ulm viewers, make sure you stay abreast of the redistricting timelines and participate if you care to in the redistricting meetings with the city and the county. I don't know that there will be separate meetings, or I assume they'll at minimum be part of regular meetings, but that's an opportunity for citizen participation. Many thanks to the Public Access TV for having New Ulm Forum, and I appreciate your listening to our program today. Thank you.
Thank you.